Hi there, I'm Andrew. Welcome to Urban Rider for another look at some of the world's finest riding gear. Today we're going to be talking all about the brand new ECE approved Biltwell Gringo helmets. These will be released November 2018 and we're really excited. So essentially the Biltwell Gringo, it's been around for some years in our lineup here at Urban Rider. This is an American brand and they've created this helmet to the DOT standard of certification. This is the American safety standard and it's only ever been road legal therefore in the States, not in Europe where 2/3 of our customer base are. So it's a remarkable fact then that this has actually been one of the best selling helmets in our lineup throughout that time. And it must be down to the fact that this is such a wonderful looking helmet, nice, sleek, compact, very simple and scaled down in terms of styling, but beautifully finished, comfortable and at a great price point. So when we heard Biltwell were working on an ECE approved variant that would be road legal for all of our European, British customers and so on, we were really excited. However, we've been in this game long enough to know that it's not always the case. If you try and put something through ECE approval, it doesn't mean it's going to look anything like the predecessor. We've seen far too many helmets be submitted and basically to get through the testing for the higher threshold of safety that's required by the ECE standard of certification, and they've come out the other end far larger, chunkier, uglier, and basically compromised on that original brief. Here we have the brand new ECE approved variant, and here we have the predecessor. And I would wager that even if you were right here and you got up really close, you would not be able to tell the difference on looks alone. There is a minimal 2% increase in shell size, which basically means no shell size difference at all as far as you can see, and still makes it one of the sleekest and most compact road legal full face helmets in our offering. The weight has gone up very slightly, but it's still on par with all of the other road legal helmets in our lineup at around the 1200 gram mark for the S variant with this fixed external visor. And it has simply achieved this ECE approval by having a much denser, higher quality EPS liner under this outer ABS shell. And the chin bar has received the same treatment, so you've got a very safe and reinforced chin bar, whereas the predecessor wasn't really quite the same. The other thing that's different about the brand new S variant here is the fact you've got a high quality ECE approved visor. The predecessor is simply a laser cut piece of plastic and it's pretty cheap. It's effective at being something you can look through that stops the wind, but it really stops there. There's not much more to it than that. This one is going to be shatter resistant, it's thicker, it's injection molded. You can tell it's higher quality, it's got UV protection and anti-fog as well. So there's a lot going on that wasn't really present in that. And these small differences will become apparent day to day, given that clearly this helmet doesn't have things like the vents to help you clear away the fog. So having a slightly better visor is definitely worth it. So at this point, you're probably thinking, yes, but I'm going to now tell you it's double the price or something horrendous like that. Biltwell have done really well in keeping it as close as possible to the existing prices of the DOT approved variant. So the plain colors in the Biltwell Gringo are currently $139, and the new and improved ECE variant is $149. It's a £10 difference. In the S models that we have here with the hinged visors, it goes up from $159 to $189, which when you consider all those little features I just mentioned, I think is definitely fair. So this still remains one of the most competitively priced, now road legal quality, retro inspired helmets on our offering. And we think therefore it's going to be seriously popular. In terms of things like the fit, it remains fairly similar. It still caters to an intermediate head shape more than the intermediate oval, which is what is more typically found in the majority of helmets. And that is to say that this is going to bias somebody with a more rounded head shape, just slightly over someone with a more oval head shape. So the other thing is it maybe fits just the tiniest bit more snugly than its predecessor. So all of this is going to be explained in the size guide over on our website, but ultimately we're just going to advise if you're on the upper limit of a sizing increment according to that size guide, you may be tempted to jump up into the next size. So in my case, I'm 57.5 centimeters across the forehead and I have a more oval head shape too. So I did find the medium was pressing just a little bit too tight on my forehead. So going up into the next one, into the large, fit me much better. And I think that's something to bear in mind. But otherwise, if you have a rounded head shape or if you sit in the middle of the sizing increments, it's straightforward plain sailing. So these will be in stock from the end of November. In terms of the features of the helmets, well, there's not really much to go through, and that's why I think they've been so popular. They're scaled down and they're simple, but let's go through them anyway. So you've got this snapper on the left part of the visor with a pull system here. You get your finger under there, you snap it off and you pull it up. It has different ratcheted increments so it can stay wherever you want. And when you put it down, you simply snap that back into position. It's very easy to remove these visors. Biltwell have always done very well selling their accessories in terms of the different tints of visors, which can easily be switched out just by getting a screwdriver or a coin, taking off these screws and then taking out the plates and putting them back on with the new one. It's a really simple process. Inside the helmet itself, you still have a really nice hypoallergenic, antibacterial, removable, washable inner liner. Biltwell have added a nod to modernity inside by having cutouts with Velcro overlays for the earpieces if you need to integrate this with an intercom system, which is a really nice feature. So if you've got something like a Sena or an interphone, you can have the control panel stuck neatly to the outside here, and you can have that seamlessly integrated into the inner lining of the helmet. If you don't have one, you wouldn't notice the difference anyway. It's very comfortable, well-designed liner. And you've got a double D-ring fastening system underneath for doing up the chin strap, which is the safest and most secure way of doing that as well. So there's a really lovely new range of colours, this being one of them in the Gringos and the Gringo S's. Some of the standard colourways, such as the blacks and the whites, will carry across, and there's also going to be a few limited edition colourways too. So we think Biltwell have done an absolutely stand-up job in bringing their Gringo helmet to the market in an ECE approved package and keeping that price point as competitive as it's always been. But we want to know what you guys think, and if you have any further questions, comments or feedback, leave that in the section below, and do stay tuned for more video reviews of the world's finest riding gear. So thank you for watching. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.